Hello, this is OUISN Social Justice News. Today we have a special news feature to celebrate and discuss the National Historical Period.
Since this nation's birth with the signing of the Declaration of Independence, we have had 43 presidents that have led this country through times of war, through times of peace, through recession and depressions, economic booms, through slavery, through movements and demonstrations towards the road to freedom. But now, our 44th President of the United States of America, who will hold the highest office in the land of the free and home of the brave, he will be the first African-American U.S. President and certainly a new dawn in America. In this new dawn, President-elect Barack Obama will inherit an economic recession and a failed education system, a broken healthcare system, and a costly war on terrorism.
Well, I was extremely excited. I mean, almost tearful at one point in time. I thought in my lifetime I would never ever witness such a historic event. I was somewhat skeptical in the beginning, knowing he was African American, and I didn't want to allow myself to believe, because I didn't want to be hurt by the situation. But just going through it in the 2 years of the process, it's overwhelming. It's just extremely overwhelming.
I mean, for me, like when he got California, obviously that was when he won the election at that point. So that was when it took effect to as he said, for this long 2 years that this campaign has been going on, it's definitely the longest campaign in campaign history. And so for that 1 second, when they called that, I took out my phone and snapped a snapshot just to show it. And overall, it was definitely a feeling of, I'd say, happiness, of being very energized and very, very excited to see the new possibilities that could occur.
And I was also overjoyed. I think one cannot help but be proud of this nation given the history. I immediately thought back to the times of slavery, and especially when Barack Obama won Virginia, with Virginia, Jamestown being the site of the slave ships docking. I thought of all those who have gone before in the struggle from slavery through Jim Crow, to the civil rights struggle, how we have stood on their shoulders, how Barack stood on their shoulders, and how he represented the history of our race so well. And he was yet poised, even in this great moment, that the poise and the intelligence and the confidence and the blessed assurance just shone through. So I was just very, very pleased.
For me, I saw it as America redeeming itself. It was a little over 389 years ago that the first slaves were brought to this country, and for someone to reach the epitome of this height, to achieve that in my lifetime is absolutely amazing. Because somewhat about 40 years ago that Dr. King preached about that in this nation that we should judge people on the content of their character, not the color of their skin, and certainly Senator Obama eclipsed that, what Dr. King talked about. So I was elated when I got the news. I thought it would never happen in my lifetime. And it gives true credibility to what America is really about, because so often we say in America you can be anything you want to be, but I never fully believe that, because I would look in the eyes of little African-American children saying, you could never be president. Maybe you could be a star or actor or whatever, but you could never be president. Now we can truly say that and mean it.
And I'm still thinking, pinch me somebody, is this really real? Did this really happen? Is there a black man that's now the president-elect of the United States of America, the highest office that you could possibly hold? I'm still holding my breath. Although I see it in the newspapers, I hear it on the radio, I know that I'm told that it's real. It's just that the possibility for a black man to be president since I've been living was virtually impossible until this day and time. And as a mother, I'm thinking, oh my God, this is somebody's son who is now the President of the United States. an African American male who has transcended color, who has, by virtue of what America stands for, working hard, being prepared, and taking advantage of opportunity, all meeting together, has come to this. It's just absolutely phenomenal.
Given the reaction that you had, do you believe that this is truly a new dawn of American leadership at hand for the Black community?
I don't think there's any question about what has happened, because when we look at what Obama achieved yesterday, we have to look at it as being a rainbow of coalition. He got 61% of the white vote. He got 23% of the black vote. And I think he got approximately 16% of the Hispanic vote. So he did it with a multiracial coalition, and that's absolutely amazing. I think many people, particularly African Americans, had some concern about the Bradley effect coming into play, because I don't know if some of you are too young to remember, about 25 years ago, a very popular mayor out of California ran for the governorship, and he was leading in the polls, but ultimately he lost by a small margin. And many African Americans was thinking the same thing could possibly happen to Obama, that many people were saying in the polls that they would vote for him, and in the back of our minds we had suspicion about that, but that didn't materialize, and that made me feel great.
Yeah, I was struck by the tone of the Republicans who voted against Barack Obama, that they had a tone of wanting to reconcile with him. I listened to Condoleezza Rice speak today, and she spoke about how proud she was as an African American to see this day, even though she's a Republican. And then when you take a look at the world from an international standpoint, it seemed like the entire world was holding with bated breath to see Barack Obama ascend to the presidency, because they also, just like we are here, looking forward to a new dawn of leadership, and they also look toward Barack Obama to provide that.
I mean, I'll chime in. Basically, I think that when it's all said and done, it definitely marks change. My questions now, though, I mean, from my political standpoint, are what are those changes? You know, where's that going to come from? What am I really going to see? Is it politics as usual? I think that from a symbolic standpoint, it was major. It was incredible. How do you not look at it? I mean, even walking down the street this morning to go get my coffee, I felt different. I felt as if there was something else. People were looking at me in a different way, and or that I had other opportunities that, for whatever reason, weren't created for me prior to yesterday. So my new approach now, given the news, given the election results, and having now a black man as president, is what will it really mean? And then once I kind of get an idea of what that answer is, you know, how is it that those things were, or were they, in fact, I guess for lack of a better word, did they exist prior to him being elected?